Hello, my name is Willis. I'm here with Team Heavy Play Rampant Growth. Today I'm playing Izzet Lessons. This is a deck I played to a 42nd place finish at Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipsed and piloted in the qualifier weekends the weekend after to queue for the next arena championships in a couple of months. Everyone mostly knows this deck at this point, nothing groundbreaking, but for those who don't know, this is a combo control deck of sorts, looking to combine Monument's Endurance and Artist Talent to generate a huge advantage. When you combo these cards with a cost reducer like Grand or level 2 of the Artist Talent, you can churn through your deck incredibly quickly and drain your opponent out with Monument's lose 3 life mode. I've made a couple changes to the deck since the Pro Tour, a couple small changes, so I am posturing this deck a lot more proactively at this point, cutting the reactive Spell Snare in favor of the 4th Monument. In a world that involves a lot of multicolor elementals decks playing for Wistfulness, I found having the 4th Monument to draw in towards is a very impactful thing to play towards. The other change I've made in my sideboard is I've actually cut the 2nd Pyroclasm. The blue-green rhythm deck is a lot less popular now than it used to be, and I have gone up to the 2nd Annul to respect the mirror match a little bit more. I feel that this deck is very well positioned. A lot of people are starting to see that as well, so respecting the mirror a little bit more. And also the mono-green landfall deck is pretty popular right now, and that is a Sapling Nursery deck and Earthbender Ascension, so this card is pretty impactful there. One last thing I want to say that I learned from the testing house is how impactful Rattle Crackling Wit is as a finisher. In matchups where you want to cut the Stormchaser's Boomerang package, and in matchups that are destroying a lot of your monuments, this is a very strong finisher that will end the game by itself. Quantum Riddler is a similar role, juking the common disruption for this deck. So that just about does it. Let's get into the games, shall we? All right, we are against Christopher Larson on his Pro Tour winning Dimir Excruciator deck. So I'll be honest, this was not part of my pre-Pro Tour testing regimen, as you might expect, but I'm going to follow my normal control heuristics. This hand looks great against a reactive deck, so we'll see how this goes. The Storm Chaser's Talent package, this is definitely the matchups where this card shines. Like, the otters are a little bit poor when you're behind on board, but when you're ahead like this, or in a matchup that they have to react to you, these cards are going to be very powerful. So opponent's in a tough spot here with a Thoughtseize decision, I think. I assume they would have to take a Monument. He might be able to come back for that later, maybe as another Thoughtseize, perhaps. But, yeah, let's just stick to the plan. Or maybe he's banking on me not finding a discard outlet for this. And the otters were going to pressure him a lot. Like, this Boomerang basic draws me closer to things and creates threats. So there's a chance that I whiff here and he's able to win. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward so far. Just sticking to the plan, developing otters, attacking, and then hopefully looking for removal ways to loot these removal spells away, rather. Opponent plays a Superior Spider-Man. That could be a little bit problematic. Shocking in a Watery Grave, for instance. You would have to bounce Monument to Endurance. There it is. Because if he leaves me... Ooh, a Deceit. Is this to bounce mode? Okay, bounce mode. That makes sense. And maybe just another kill spell in that case. Because if you cast a Thoughtseize while I have a Monument in play, I do get the trigger, so it's not the most effective use of a Thoughtseize. Oh, perfect top deck. What am I discarding? I think the removal spells might have some utility. If they cast a Spider-Man, I might even... They take a combustion, I might need to kick a firebending, potentially. So I'm just going to discard a land. Obviously there's punishes for that, but if I draw a bunch of lands, and I'll be rewarded. You're at 11 left. I think my hand still needs help, so I still need to keep drawing cards. Perfect. We're playing against a Dimir deck, which means they do not interact with enchantments very well. So we are safe to deploy that. Okay, stock up's really nice for me. Now we don't actually have a target for these things, but that was a perfect draw as well. When Lessons draws well, it looks really nice. Very, very lucky. Can I start doming you yet? I don't think so. Close. Probably when I recast this, I'll start dealing damage to them. Okay, we can finally start discarding some Lessons. I feel comfortable doing that now. And yeah, I'm just gonna cast it all, so now we will be dealing 3, and I'll probably end up casting a Firebending Lesson on my Otter token on their turn. Let me think about that briefly. Just for the Monument trigger. He has Harvester of Misery in his deck and Board Wipes. So I don't know that I would commit this. I think I should play lands. I'm going to be seeing a lot of cards. It's kind of close though. I assume I'll play lands. If he plays some creature that like kills my things, I'll just combust it, get more advantage. I don't think I need this Otter to finish, and saving the spell in hand might be relevant for next turn. Stuff against a Doomsday Excruciator here, I would win. Search for a library. So tutoring a card to top. Okay, I can make a funny play here. Firebending Lesson and Otter, hold priority. Resolve the triggers, Firebending Lesson the different Otter, and then neither of them will die, and that gets all my triggers going. I think that's worth doing, just to get the turn on the monuments. It's a lot of techie lines you can do with this deck. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. I don't think, at least. Quench might be good. When you're going to resolve multiple... monuments on a turn, you should draw before doing anything else. Target the other one. Okay. Now I can remove full control at this point. I'll just discard lands. And then we're just dealing 3 to them now. Maybe I should have left the Otter talent for the sure. It's a guarantee I have a spell to cast this turn, but just drawing a monument here locks it up anyway. I maybe could have... I'm reading him on not a second removal spell, because of the... because he probably could have main phased both of them, or done it on his instep. He probably would have cast 2, as many removal spells as he had. He only cast 1, so I think I had a line here if I didn't draw a monument of Firebend Lesson my Otter, quench it in response, and that's 3 damage from Prowess and 3 damage from a monument. So I think I was winning even if I missed on the monument top deck. So okay, against Excruciator, gonna follow normal control heuristics. I think this Firebending Lesson doesn't do much. Essence Scatter is actually quite good against the Spider-Man deck though, so we will keep that one. Stroke quite good. Having all of the top ends, diversify your threats, different things that have to be respected. Do I want a Spell Pierce? probably don't want a ton of combustions, but maybe you want like 2 or 3. Might go for a little bit unscientific 1 Spell Pierce. They're a 4 stock or a 3 stock up deck though, so I should probably have access to Spell Pierce. When in doubt, I'll caution against going too crazy on this, but Abandoned Attachments is a card you can always trim if you need to make room for stuff. It is a good glue card. It holds the deck together, keeps your lessons count high, and all of that. Draws you into the more impactful cards in the matchup, but it's not mission critical for the deck. So when you need to make room for things, trimming is fine, but I'd caution against going too deep on that. On the draw, this hand has some upside. Like I have Talent Monument. I'm definitely mulliganing this hand, I think. This is the type of hand you might consider keeping in a matchup that is like bad for you. So if you need to play towards variance, on the draw you have like a 60+% chance on average of getting the second land for the talents, and theoretically you can go from there. But I don't think that matchup is that bad for me. I'm assuming, so I will just look for hands that doesn't play towards variance that much. Okay, this hand looks good to me. Put me to the test on the Spell Pierce here. I think I'm going to bend that. I think I want my lessons. Quantum Riddler is going to be a good top end, and I'm always going to lean on a turn 1 Grand. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so opponent looks like a mulligan and then led on a turn 1 Duress, hitting Quench. Makes sense. So let's lead on Grand. That's an interesting sequencing question. In general, I like leading on Grand, but it is always a question. If I already had the boomerangs lined up, I might go for the aggressive line, but you're kind of forcing them to use a removal spell there, and then if you have a punish, like if I drew an Artist Talents, I have a free pass when they don't have negate mana up, for instance, so I generally like putting the control matchups to the test there. Some other times I might go for Storm Chasers. What am I doing here, by the way? I think I could Warp Riddler. Abandoned Attachments could discard Island, but I want my resources in play. I think I'm going to make a slightly mana inefficient turn and just play a Storm Chaser's Talent. I can't bring myself to do it. I'll just Warp a Riddler. I'll give myself more information for the Abandoned Attachments. This is going to be good. This is a good draw, so we can next turn Storm Chasers and then hold up Stroke, and if he doesn't play anything we need to Stroke, I will cast Abandoned Attachments. So that was a good run out. And that's kind of just a heuristic, like use all your mana every turn. Unless you have a really good reason to be mana inefficient, then you should just cast the more expensive spells when all of your mana. So that's what I did. The clunky sorcery when giving me more options in the next turns, like we saw on my turn 3 here. Deceit. I think I will protect my Ral here. It's funny. Yeah, I think I will protect my Ral here. Because if I draw lands and I slam this Ral, opponent is in a lot of trouble, I assume. And they could have Bitter Triumph. I don't know how many they leave in their deck post board, but... Okay, did not draw. I think I'm going to discard this Combustion Technique and hope not to get punished for it. Ooh, negates. Okay. Well, at least I have Combustion Technique in hand still. If he plays something bad. Okay. Well, I was hoping that I could resolve Abandoned Attachments to hit some land drops and go to the Riddler, but... unfortunate. Because if I was able to discard Technique, I don't think I should wait. I think that's... Because if they specifically play a creature, then I get punished by casting Accumulate here, because kill creature and an instep on instep and then untap in Ancestral, but I should just cast this, I think. I'm just gonna hit my land drop and set up a Riddler. I think that's what this position requires of me. So most likely scenario, and this is why I didn't want to hold up Combustion, most likely scenario with the information we have on board is them just playing a land and flashbacking to Winter Night, so or harmonizing. So hopefully I can outgrind this with just casting a Riddler. Now, if Christopher finds land and Doomsday Excruciator, maybe I'm in trouble. I might actually lose to that. Combustion Technique would have to hit the Restless Reef. And I might be able to win that situation, but depends on what he found. Maybe another duress for this, for example. Okay, he discards a couple lands, makes sense. Drew to land, perfect. So yeah, this is kind of textbook like control. Resources get whittled down, you trade off 1-for-1s, and then you slam like one of your haymakers. Like my plan was to do Row, he interrupted it, I had this Riddler in the bank. That was another good reason to warp Riddler on turn 2. It put it in the safe exile zone rather than my hand, so that was kind of cool. Alright, we are in Storm Chaser's Talon level zone. So let's play land, let's level. Artist Talents, I want to get to soon, but not quite yet. Maybe I can now. Maybe that is better, because this, I don't have the 3 lessons quite yet. And I want to hold Granger. This is an important thing. Ooh, I'm in trouble. Okay. So what I was going to do is set up a turn where I can grand and cast multiple spells all at once, not give them opportunity to discard, or to kill it. But as is, I believe I am dead. Not quite. Because I have a Combustion Technique for the Restless Reef, and Doomsday Excruciator does say he will deck out first. So, theoretically, I'm not quite dead. So Grand as a chump blocker. I can't level Talent because I need to convert this. Okay. I'll just play... Well, no, the chump blocker doesn't matter for Reef. It's only if he has like anything else. So yeah, we're just all in on this Combustion Technique working, I guess. I can maybe line up a Boomerang basics. How does the math work on this? 6, 12, 18, 24. So it's 4 turns here. Like, he will deck out before this thing goes to distance. So this, he needs to have a Thoughtseize in hand, or a second Reef, or Thoughtseize in the last 6 cards of the deck. Okay. What does that do? So it puts me to 2. He draws 2 cards. Or 3 cards on the 1. Do I bounce that with a Boomerang? I don't think I do. If I do, then it's... I mean, it's kind of the same, I think. 8, draw 2, play this, die on your upkeep. 5 cards, 4 cards. I think I am safe to cast this, so long as I don't discard. Because I might actually counter this. Boomerang. I'm going to take the Pierce because it might constrain his mana on a turn where he wants to animate Reef and Thoughtseize, for example. I don't think I'm boomeranging. I think I'm going to 2. Boomerang 2-1 because it means he's dead next turn. I don't really know. It's a very interesting position I have never found myself in before. I love playing like new matchups. It's a very interesting puzzle to solve. Okay. Go to 2. Oh, Insatiable Avarice. Duress. Because I think Avarice says target player draws 2, loses 2. Yeah. Could I have played around that? Maybe not. Yeah, draws 3, loses 3. Okay, so that's the reason I couldn't cast Anticipate, but the 3 life was going to get me either way. What could I have done? Huh. I bounce. I take down to 8s. You draw 2 down to 2. So I don't cast Anticipate. I guess that's not. I had to not cast Anticipate. No, because I think I was still losing to Duress no matter what, because if he ever Duressed and attacked with a Restless Reef, I was dead. So I don't know that I could have won that game, but it's fascinating. A very challenging position. So 2 combustions felt fine. That felt about right. So I think I want to run that back. Yeah. Wow, that was a good game. That was hard. Insatiable Avarice. It's definitely can get you. Okay, on the play. Let's have a grand hand, shall we? No, but we have some interaction. Enough lessons. A way to dig for artist talent. I think I will keep this hand. It's not quite as exciting as to turn 1 Grand or Artist Talent with Boomerang. I mean, Storm Chaser's Boomerang hand, so we had previously, but I don't know. They're a deck with a million hand attack, thought seizes, and deceits and such. That this hand is serviceable, and I don't want to mulligan too aggressively when the matchup will reduce your resources very quickly. So I think this Accumulate Wisdom is enough for me to just cast it as an Anticipate. Don't worry about it. Find your impactful spell and move on with your life. My one of 2 combustion techniques still coming. Interestingly, he did take a lesson, which makes me want to get greedy on this and wait, but this deck is very mana hungry. You should, binning this. You should just kind of spend your mana. So I do have to worry about Superior Spider-Man. Yeah, let's take a Ral. That's something I can play towards. But he knows about these interaction pieces, so my Quench. Would have loved to have quenched that. Oh god. Can I warp a Riddler? I just die if I miss land and he has Spider-Man. That's probably too risky, but just going, just passing and doing nothing feels bad too. My hand's got some issues. I can't bring myself to just concede to a Spider-Man. I can't do it. If he jams, I think I'll lead on stroke. There's the duress. And the reason would have been because he knows about this one but doesn't know about the Essence Scatter. So he's more likely to run into this in the future. Now he gets perfect information, which is not ideal, but, you know, jury's out if he can do anything about this. Like if I... Okay. So I drew to land. So that is good enough for me to warp. I'm not deploying Ral. I think I would just die to the Spider-Man. Okay, we drew an even better land to play, so let's do that. There is a chance I'm playing too scared of the Spider-Man, and there's a chance that maybe I was supposed to bring in Soul Guide Lanterns for this matchup. I just didn't think that this is like the type of game we'd be playing based on the other ones that we played. Exile target creature. Okay. But yeah, I mean, just surveilling that and then discarding another one. Like, I am on the back foot here. I do have to play pretty scared. Or at least it feels that way. Discard Hex. Winter Night. Yeah, keep waiting. Keep waiting, I suppose. It's not ideal. I was definitely hoping that I would find like artist talent off of the accumulate wisdom. But because once you have a talent in play, the rest of this deck, it all just kind of falls in place. It all tends to work out. But when you're not churning through your deck, you're kind of in this position where you're kind of at the mercy of opponent. Well, that's not good for me. If he feels comfortable jamming here, could have a negate backup, and that would be pretty game ending. And if not, he might just have another one and is ready to just jam through him. So yeah, what happens when I get excruciated here? I do have a combustion for it. It's not. I mean, I can try to mill them out because he will have to draw cards. Ral doesn't do anything. Because I can't minus the Ral. So Ral just pluses. I can't combust this because then I'd item mill out first. Wow. That's how this deck gets you. Okay, I will plus. And say go. Yeah, I don't have any other lines here. I just have to hope that he loses. Fascinating deck. What happens when he plays a duress here? Do I combust? It's weird. I assume I wouldn't. I'm gonna kill him. Yeah, I have no moves. At least I'm not coming up with it. Oop, nope. Maybe I can set up a... never mind. I was going to say, maybe I could set up a storm turn. Or if I have 3 otters in play, I would need to cast 6 spells, which is technically doable. Okay. I don't know that casting artist talent does anything. I guess I can level, and this will deal more damage, which is potentially relevant. I don't know. Okay. Kill me. I guess what this does, Artisan, means I can try to find, like, oh, the reef is too slow? Insatiable Avarice. So I need a... Oh, I don't have any hard counter spells. I don't have a negate in my deck. I don't have anything. Nope. Wow, nothing to draw into. Good games. That was a fun match. Very challenging. But yeah, I liked the games where I could put them on the back foot. So the early otter draws, early Grand draws, artist talents, monuments. What I learned about this though is that you don't have infinite time. So unlike normal control where you can sit here and do nothing forever, you do have to finish the game quickly. So that was very instructive. That was a good match. Hopefully we learned something from that. So anyway, good games. See you next one. All right, we are against Ducat. Mr. Daniel on the Temur Harmonizer deck. So they are trying to combo kill us with Mightform Harmonizer and Full Bore. They have stock up and consult the star charts to find everything. They're on the draw with a very proactive hand. But typically their deck takes a little bit of time to get fully set up. So, and it's risky for them to go all in on a Mightform when I have mana up and combustion technique and such. They do have a little bit of ways to protect it, so Spell Snare, Detect Intrusion. Other than that, they'll just be using like Ice-Till Explorer and Earthbender Ascension to kind of slowly gain incremental advantage. So yeah, this is going to be a classic combo matchup of sorts where both players are trying to pick a spot, find a moment, and then strike. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so he's on the play, escape tunnel. We'll see if otters are good in this matchup. I suspect they might be. I think the otters will pressure him enough to prompt an action. They're less important than these things, so I'm just going to prioritize during Artist Talent Monument things, getting that online. But I think the otters get some chip damage in will matter when I'm dealing 3 damage monument mode. So theoretically, I can kind of start gaining a strong advantage before he finds everything he needs to kill me. But it's an interesting draw step. Boomerang. I could go all in on the talent plan. Kind of puts me to the test here on how good I think this talent is. I think I'm going to cast the Storm Chase, or the Artist Talents. I think just setting up these things are going to be more important on average. I did play into Spell Snare here, but it was a one of, I don't feel that bad about it being countered. It's not great, but I don't really think it's correct to play too scared around that. If I think it's correct to play Artist Talent, but there's a chance against like stock ups and stuff. I should just be developing these things anyway. So yeah, maybe a small sequencing error. Yeah, I might have gotten punished for. It's hard to say. So next turn, they can technically might form in full board, but they won't have a lands drop for it. So they're probably just going for a Ice Till or another setup turn Consult, perhaps. So we're pretty safe to just deploy here. And we might need to, well, one, find another lesson for this combustion, and two, hold up combustion for perhaps the remainder of this game, because a Might Form plus full board plus a single fetch land will kill me. That being said, I'm going to prioritize killing this Ice Till. I think allowing Daniel to get this many draws or land drops is probably unacceptable, and if I lose to a Might Form, so be it. That's assuming he blocks. He might not block. Do I need the shock steam vents? Oh god, that feels bad. Like, do I when he just takes this, do I really? Yeah, I might just need the shock steam vents and say go. Level on a boomerang basics. That doesn't feel right. I don't think I can double technique Ice Till, which means my options are hold up double technique and play really scared against like exactly the two cards. I guess one Might Form probably kills me. Because 2, 4, 6, 8, or 2, 4, 8, 16. Yeah, well, so I died to one Might Form Harmonizer. Maybe it is worth just combusting twice. God. No, I think I have to hope he doesn't have a combustion. He doesn't have a Might Form. This position is just too bad otherwise. Like, I think if I just wait and play like super reactively and he just plays like a stock up, I'm extremely behind there. So at some point you kind of need to just play to win. I'm really hoping to draw a lesson for next turn. That will solve my hands. Because if these deal 4, then I feel very comfortable here. But given that I don't, I'm really hoping, yeah. I was hoping he would escape tunnel. But okay, he was doing the math. He found the same thing I did. So maybe I could have like held an otter back if that was my line. Maybe that was the line. Attack with one otter he takes, and then I can block with one otter and combust. Yeah. Yeah, I'm dead. Right, because he has one more land drop after this, if I counted correctly. Just confirming. Yes, okay. Yeah, that was probably a little bit sloppy, but it was a tough position. So against them, Sirach, Sandstorm. Heritage Reclamations and Soul Guide Lanterns are kind of the tools they have against me. So, and a Wistfulness. So let us have a little bit more instant speed deal fours. I don't believe Firebending Lesson is particularly useful against them. Essence Scatter, I assume, is solid. Null counters, Earthbender Ascension, Soul Guide Lantern, probably not fantastic. I think Otters are going to be good. Soul Guide Lantern against Ice Till might come up. Against Winter Night Stories might come up. Analyzed Pollen. And Sandman. Yeah, let's maybe I should have a second Soul Guide. Doesn't feel super impactful for the matchup. I'm gonna try one. I think I'm gonna stick to the plan of like staying proactive, interacting once, just having the key interaction point. I failed the interaction check on that one turn. I think I was supposed to hold back one Otter. But unclear on if you would have had alternate lines that would have also been good and might have killed me either way. So, very punishing matchup, very challenging. It's good practice. So, Grangren on the play against a deck with a couple Burst Lightnings. Thunder Magic. So I'm just going to keep this. If they kill it, I'll play another one. And Gran will presumably draw me into... The card I want to draw most is going to be Artist Talent on average. I can probably convert a Quench at some points. And yeah, any lessons are going to be good. Likely discarding a basic island here. Yes. Okay. I will just be casting the Accumulate Wisdom. You kind of have to spend your mana in these spots. Unless he plays something I have to quench, which is very unlikely. Looking at their list, there's not really much on 2 that I would want to counter. Would I counter, if he like fetches a mountain here, would I counter a Burst Lightning? That feels a little bit aggressive, but the reason to do it is that it would let me just play Monument, attack with Gran, immediately get a trigger. But I don't believe I would. I believe I would still just play the Monument. He plays a stock up or something on turn 3. And then I would untap like another Gran and Quench and aim to converting Quench against like an Ice Till Explorer or something along those lines. Okay, that's fine. Broadside Solid Pickup. We're jamming. We're attacking. Looting away. It's clear doesn't have an answer for Gran so far. Seer is still technically in range, because he might have chosen Spell Snare instead. But Seer is also likely for him to be cut in the matchup, so I'm going to put him on not having a removal spell. I'm going to keep my lands, my interaction pieces. I think I'm drawing a card. So my hand is not set up yet. I need a little bit more help. Once I have talents and stuff going, I'll be making treasures and dealing 3, but in spots like this, we just need to keep drawing cards and making sure we can take full control over the game. Ooh, here's a reclamation. Okay, let's run it back. You have 2 Spell Pierces. I don't really want to play around Spell Pierce. Okay, here I do think this might be playing a little bit too face up. Daniel's probably going to read this, but I think it's still worth doing. The alternative of just giving him a free pass at a stock up or an Ice Till Explorer is a little bit too unacceptable for me. There's a chance I don't quench an Ice Till. I just lean on Broadside Barrage, but I kind of want to save Broadside for like a Might form. I will quench a lot of things here. I think it is important just to get the lessons in the graveyard and keep the keep him off balance. Like if you let him set up with a stock up here, then it could his turn after could be something that I can't compete with. Either one, he has 5 mana at that point, can play a 3-drop, and then I can't quench, or he just keeps going for like incremental advantage lines, and it's snowballs. Earthbender Ascension, yes, I will certainly be quenching that. My auto tokens, a million turns from now, might need to jump block, and card does a lot. Okay, let's same plan. We're attacking. We're drawing a card with Monument as well. Discard Spire Bluff. Yes. Let's draw. Here I'm going to bounce Gran. So I need to cycle these boomerangs. Okay, perfect. Now Gran. Now I will accumulate wisdom, hope to hit a land drop. If not, it's not the exact end of the world. 3 land drops. Okay, we'll just play a land and hold up Broadside Barrage. If we get to convert a Broadside here, that'd be really nice because I get the Monument trigger. So it's just Ice Till, I assume, that I would Broadside here. Seems very unlikely that he would deploy a Might Form here. Could play a Surak or a Wistfulness or something. There's all sorts of possibilities, but they all kind of end in Broadside. Stock up, sure. If he finds a removal spell for Gran, then that could be problematic. But still not the end of the world. I would just hold up Broadside. Because my plan, if I miss, is to do the same thing, Gran attack, turn through. If we keep missing, I'll boomerang the Gran. Looks like he did find a removal spell. That's fine. I can't really fight over that. I need to save Broadside for his pieces. Agnakella was an incredible draw there. So now I still have the Monument going, even though Gran died. So now he has to make a move. I kind of have inevitability right now, so we might see him go for a more committal play this turn, which hopefully I can convert a Broadside, or like a Seer plus Agnikel activation would be pretty good as well. What I don't want to see is like a Quantum Riddler. He has 1 in the board. That's a really challenging card for me to remove efficiently. So there's an Earthbender Ascension. I thought about activating Agnikel in response, but I don't have a null. I chose not to bring in a null. This is the drew both of the Earthbenders, so shouldn't be too bad. Ooh, Winter Night Stories. Maybe I could have responded to that. Here, I do think I will be quenching that if I draw it, which means that I should activate now. $13 life. I don't think... I really need to find an Artist Talent soon. Will I be searing this? I believe the answer is no. I will not be searing this. I have 2 pieces of interaction already. I just don't think this mountain does much, and it like will come back immediately and put another counter on Earthbender Ascension, so I'll love that play. I'll just untap. Okay, Abandoned Attachment's not a bad draw. Am I casting Abandon? The other reason to hold Seer is because I might want to discard one of these cards here, and thus I need to keep a good amount of interaction. I think I should find Artist Talent. So I'm going to lead on this. This card is here. Slight aggressive, not too, man. Draw. Okay. Let's get otters going. And I think I just hold here. The reason is still holding up Agnicella. So that's my plan. I'm still making like good use of my mana if nothing happens. If they just like flashback a Winter Night, for instance. But if he does think it's time to strike, I have 2 layers of protection here, so double combustion technique. Hopefully is enough to stave off any crazy things. If there is a Soul Guide Lantern involved, then I still have the Broadside Barrage. So, looks like he's just setting up one more turn. And as soon as I find an Artist Talent, then this game starts spiraling out of control for me. If I miss, so my plan is to Agnicella and then keep drawing cards. I still don't think I'm in a position where I can dome them. I think the most likely run out there is I put him to like 4 or something, and then he kills me. So I think I would need to keep drawing cards, and finding the like a grand and an Artist Talent is exactly what I'd be trying to set up here. Attacking for 2? No. Okay, just holding up, not casting the Winter Night Stories. Might be killing the... Ooh, Consulting? Sure. Okay, so he's done a lot of coiling, a lot of setting up, so... The position he could have... He very likely has everything lined up after this resolves, so it's just a matter of figuring out how to fight through that and apply just enough pressure. Thunder Magic, okay. Discard this one. Continue to draw cards. They're at 11, but so it's closer. Okay, let's keep digging. Okay. Four, 5, 6, 7 mana. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I can hold up 3 pieces of interaction. Or I can play 2 Artist Talents, or Storm Chaser's Talents. I can play 3 Storm Chaser's Talents, and then hold up the same thing I held up last turn. The question is, do I think that's enough? I think that's acceptable. It's... The issue with doing nothing here, the difference between holding up like 2 and 3 pieces of interaction, is I don't think going to be the deal breaker here. It's kind of a gut feeling, but just looking at the deck list, it would be it needs a Soul Guide. So the reason I don't love like holding up 3 is because 1 Soul Guide shuts these down anyway, so it's just a Broadside Barrage that I would have. So in the face of a Soul Guide, I would have absolutely needed to play these Storm Chasers because I can't rely on Combustion, and I'm still holding up the same thing. If I wanted to play around Soul Guide plus, okay, more coiling, that's fine. If I wanted to play around Soul Guide plus Spell Pierce, then I can deploy 2 Storm Chasers instead of 3. But that does start to feel a little bit specific as well, because it's not just those 2 cards. It's Soul Guide plus Spell Pierce plus Might Form and Full Bore and a fetch land. Which, you know, they know has drawn a lot of cards, so it's possible everything gets lined up here, but I I think this is when I need to strike. Here, I'm probably finally dealing 3. If he just, I don't know, plays an Ice Till or something, or flashes back Wonder Knight or whatever, then he's very dead to these otters. Because I can cast 3 spells, assuming nothing else happens, and that's 12 damage just from otters, and I can clear blockers and whatever very easily. Okay. No, I'm not doing anything there. You can have an extra power for harmonizing if that's really how you want to spend this turn. Sirach. That's fine. Probably broadsiding that, if I had to guess. And then triggering Monument, dealing 3. Kill your thing. Activate Agnikella even for another 3 damage. Like this feels like I should be able to win on this turn cycle, I assume. But that's depend on what his last cards are. Okay, collecting evidence. Evidence has been collected. Finding a might form, setting up for next turn, so. Okay, so say he has Spell Pierce as his last card. That goes away. I go kill that, 369. Kill that, and then activate Agnikella for last 3. So this should be safe. Against a kill spell, if like a Burst Lightning is the last card, then this deals 3, and then this deals 3, and then this deals 4. Like I should be able to kill. Because he does a kill spell here. I kill that blocker. Take 3, then an 8. Okay, that's even more lethal. If I needed to, I would combust again, but I don't, so I just have Agnikella activation. But it was deterministic if I like combust, hold priority, combust, Agnikella. But Accumulate Wisdom's just a little bit cleaner. Okay. Very scary matchup, very complicated. A lot of potential punishes. I feel like these alt finishers are slow. Do I want Spell Pierce? Earthbender Ascension? Like stock up? Winter Knight? Like I think Spell Pierce might actually be pretty good. So let's see if I can find a room for that, because we want all the interaction pieces. Soul Guide Lantern for the Winter Knights and Ice Tail, kind of. Seems like every option is a little bit medium, but I think I will. I don't know that Soul Guide is going to be the deal breaker compared to like a Spell Pierce. So let's try it like this. Once again, trimming abandoned attachments is like just to make a little bit more room for power and relevant interaction pieces. Okay, turn on Grand, but it's on the draw. I think Spell Pierce is going to be good. I think. So let's keep it, because the Harmonizer deck definitely needs to resolve stock ups and stuff to set up everything. Like the combo decks, if you interact with their ability to like find all of the pieces, can sit there and do nothing sometimes. So that's kind of what I'm going to try to set up here. They only play a couple interactive spells. They might have found one here. Yep, there it is. Oh, it's a Wistfulness. Draw 2. That is not a lightning bolt. Good for me. Grand. Doing the thing again. Okay, discard Wonder Knights. Okay, let's attack. Question is, do I put this combustion in the graveyard? No, but I will put Boomerang in the graveyard. I do like discarding Lessons. I think Grand becoming online quickly, since this query doesn't have a removal spell yet, will be important. I'll be piercing the heck out of a stock up. No, but I will be combusting a Surrock. That's fine. So now I have 2 looks for a lesson. If I do accumulate wisdom as online, it's not a lesson, but it's a very good draw. So let's see. Whew, very lucky. Okay. So now we are in business. I think I want to main phase this in the face of like spell snares and stuff. You want 1 island in play for your Agnakellas to be online. Speak to the devil. But once you have the 1 in play, you can start discarding all the other ones for Wire Verge is better. I chose not to play Storm Chasers because I do think, once again, Spell Piercing, Stock Ups, and a lot of cards he plays here would be good to pierce. Ice Hill Explorer would be pretty good. Unfortunately, might be what he has here. But we'll see. If not, the thing is, like, even if I don't convert to Spell Pierce, like, missing out on an Otter, when you're playing this game, when you already have the talents and the monument going, then the Otter is not going to be super relevant. I can come back for it later, just cast it next turn to keep turning through my deck, trigger monument. Because if he kills a Grand, I can be like, play a monument, say go, hold up Spell Pierce again, or play monuments, cast a Storm Chasers, and immediately trigger monument. But we're not out of it quite yet, because that is something like this is pretty strong. So I do need to find something here. So let's start digging. I probably should have played Agnakala. Okay, Quench. What I really want to find is Combustion Technique here, so let's dig for that a little bit. Okay, I missed. I think I can draw here. Now, how desperate am I? Do I want to attack with Grand? I think the mana reducer's just really powerful right now, so I'm not going to attack. I will be piercing and quenching almost anything on the stack, even if he can pay for it, because we have our engines online now. Like, I just need to keep triggering this card, and I will win eventually. 5/7 mana when he plays 2 lands. I have a chump blocker, which is nice if he goes for like Harmonizer lines. Because the other thing is just taxing him 2 mana could be good. The other thing is I can quench something, discard for monuments, or discard for talent, monument makes a treasure, pierce it again after he pays, and then discard another thing and then draw a card, or probably not deal 3 yet. So we have some moves. I will be happy to trade like 2 Spell Pierces for a stock up, for instance. I guess he might have 7 mana, so. But tapping him out entirely would be pretty good too. When I have everything set up here, so. Is this a Might form? So as I said, I think I will be quenching a Might Form. No, choosing to play the Fabled Passage. Play another Ice Till. Be kind of funny. Yeah, I think I am just gonna quench. Like the quench is not really going to get too much better, I assume. Ooh, is he? What is he doing? I don't think you. Oh, he just wants to pay with that rather than pay with like hold up that. Okay. I think it really matters. Ooh, let's make a treasure for sure. It was an interesting question of if I make a treasure or not there. It depends on what I think he's gonna do. I think he was gonna play Winter Night Stories, which means I was going to make a treasure and Spell Pierce. Like let this resolve even. But when this does resolve, he doesn't go for Winter Night, he goes for potentially something else. I might have just drawn if I didn't draw this. I don't know how often a pierceable target gets put on the stack here, but drawing Accumulate makes that very easy. So we'll just cast it. If he counters it, not a big deal. The reason I could have waited maybe. It's like I wasn't reading much interaction, so I wanted to cast the spells now to get as many monument triggers as possible because we're pretty close to like deal 3 damage mode. But that was probably too aggressive, that line. I got a little bit antsy. I could have converted to Spell Pierce. In fact, I might just discard it now in case I whiff on lands. Okay, but yeah, bit of an error on my part for sure, but probably fine here either way. We do need to find more monuments. Our hand is rich with resources, so we can play another talent. Not my best. Not my best. Okay, so we'll keep going. And okay, Sears, very good. Don't think these counter spells are converting much anymore. Second Granger might come up. Okay, so this is a tough position because I want to kill both Lifesteal Explorers. He has 3 cards in hand. Oh, 4 cards in hand. So if those 4 cards include Might Form, Full Bore, and Fetch Land, I lose. I don't want to play around that, I don't think. What's the risk of giving him a million Ice Tills, though? So it's going to flip more Harmonized cards. Like, as if I don't kill these things, then he gets to play a bunch of lands. Maybe that's not that bad for me. Why is that so bad for me? Yeah, I guess it's not the worst. I think I will hedge for Might Form turns here. Complicated position. I think this is an important lesson too of like, you know, because I got excited by drawing Ancestral Recall, right? So it is very easy to like be emotional and just immediately cast like the good card you draw. But that's a good lesson to like take a step back every time you're about to make a decision. Just do a quick reset of like, okay, what's to punish here? Is there anything else I should be doing instead? If he leads on killing Grand, I just have to let it resolve. Yeah, for the same reason. I'll kill one of these in step, theoretically, if nothing else happens, but if he goes for a Might Form turn, I have to have one kill spell. Okay, so I have to kill the Might Form. I have to do it now. So 2, 4, 8, 10 damage. Okay. Yeah, if I had the monuments in play, I'd be making treasures and stuff, and this situation would not be that bad for me. Good game. I am just dead, right? 4. Yeah, I'm very dead. Yeah, that was instructive. That's a good match to learn from. I think a lot of decks in Standard right now require a lot of practice against and a lot of reps. So hopefully you learn from these things. Best of luck. Alrighty, we are now against Eduardo on the Izzet or multicolor elementals deck. We won the die roll, which is nice. This hand is much too risky for my taste for not quite enough payoff. Now, the turn 1 Gran is exactly what I'm looking for into the turn 2 talent. So this is the Ashling deck. We really want to find a combustion technique and a lesson to discard because turn 2 Ashling is very scary. There's not a ton of ways for my deck to answer that. What am I putting back, by the way? I think it's a Storm Chasers. I don't think this matchup is super reliant on the Otters. So I'm just gonna lead on the Gran and aim to play Artist Talents. And hopefully at that point would have found enough things to answer an Ashling. But if not, then we will figure that out at that point. So okay, perfect. That's a lesson. So let's attack. Maybe even discard the second talent. Yeah. And we'll just run the show. Just lead the way. Just play our proactive game plan. Now, if they play an Ashling, Vibrance to kill Gran. Okay, that's good. We can deal with that because now we can play Monument. Does run into Wistfulness a little bit, but we are presenting multiple things that have to be Wistfulness. Yeah, I think that's better than playing leveling the Artist Talents. I was considering that briefly, but that plays too bad against Wistfulness. So now they basically have to cast a Wistfulness right now to compete. If they don't, they will get outclassed very quickly. And anytime they use a Wistfulness not drawing cards, that is a little bit of a win for Lessons. Small victory that they're not getting the grind out. So, Winter Night Stories. Okay, so this is the turn for me too. We dodged a Wistfulness check. Discard Ashling. Okay, so let's go. Let's try to make some things happen. My hand's not set yet. I do need to draw a lot more cards. I didn't want to go for... Yeah, we need mana. I didn't quite want to go for the level yet. I think I will just jam another Monument. Is that crazy? I mean, if they Wistfulness, they target Artist Talent. It's probably a little bit too bad. Maybe I have to just play Gran, say go. Because if they target Monument, I played another one. If they target Artist, I can use Gran as the discard. Worst case, they evoke Wistfulness and evoke a second Vibrance. That seems a bit too specific. I don't even think I play a land here. I think I want to discard that to the other monuments. I could shock level. Probably plays too bad. Play Gran, say go. I should probably play my lands, and I'll discard whatever I draw. Like the mana does matter a lot in this deck. So Artist Talent is a bit weak when you're on a low resource game, when you only have like 1 or 2 cards in hands. This card is very It doesn't snowball very well, but when you have the setup going, you have monuments, you have accumulate wisdom, if you ever get this to level 2 or Grand Online. So we're on the play, we're asking a lot of questions our opponent, and this is kind of how I like to approach this matchup. Was not able to, this matchup was not on my radar testing for the Pro Tour, but in the championship weekend, qualifier weekend after the tournament, I played against this deck multiple times, so I'm fairly comfortable with the plans at this point. It's really nice when I have, like, on the play with the proactive hands. Their deck is a little bit clunky when it comes to, like, having to react. Yeah, they have to make a play like this. So, chose to exile the talent. Hopefully they don't have the Vibrances to follow up. Ooh, they do. Okay, this could get a little bit dicey. That was a good sequence for them. Okay, I really have one option here, so let's try to rebuild. Let's get an Abandoned Attachments because that triggers Monuments. I think I should cast this now. Okay. Treasure draw. We'll probably draw. I still need more resources. Like, I really need to find another Artist Talent. Or Agnicella even might be good if I play, like, Endurance. We do have 3 Lessons in the graveyard now, so Grand would be really good. Okay, Roaming Throne. So that card has to die. We are not letting a Broader on tap with this card. Ooh. Getting the Harmonize immediately is pretty nice too. So, yeah, things get really nasty if you let them untap with this. So, unfortunately, it's a very ineffective turn, but this is forced. Like, yeah, I have to spend my entire turn on this. But you can just kind of grind through just like a couple 6-mana spells in a row. Like, it's not the end of the world, although it's looking a lot worse for us here. If I need to, I'll convert a Boomerang Basics targeting my treasure token. This will just let you draw a card, which is nice if I need to cycle through things at the cost of basically 2 mana. Hand's a little bit clunky here. So this is where you don't want to see a bunch of monuments when you... Okay, bouncing that and Thoughts using me, presumably. Yeah, what you want? Probably just taking a monument, I assume. Maybe probably just taking Combustion, actually, and trying to race me at that point. But I don't know if I find an Artist Talent. Ooh, take Boomerang. Can I read anything from that? You don't care that this dies. What does Boomerang mean? You feel confident about this situation, and Boomerang is the scariest if I start drawing like a... Storm Chasers. So yeah, let's just play face up then, I guess. Do I need the main phase of this? Bounce off. You could bounce off. Oh, and I don't want them to cast a Sunderflock here, so yeah, we should do heuristic against the Elementals deck is just keep the stuff off the board. So yeah, here probably comes the train of 5 and 6 mana Elementals, so just casting a Wistfulness would be bad for me. Catharsis. That one feels a lot of damage, but it's not quite as scary, actually. Well, it is a few miss. Good game. Yeah. 3 for 5, 6, 7. 3 for 5. Maybe I'm not quite dead. No, I'll give it another draw. I can't play this because I need something to discard. We'll give it one more draw. We'll give her one more draw. Okay, there it is. Deal 3, finish me off. Cool. Alrighty. So against Elementals, I don't think the Storm Chasers package is quite strong. I don't think that's the axis we need to be fighting on. Their deck is pretty good at just going over the top of creatures and outvaluing like small advantage that is gained by drawing a card with Boomerang on your own thing. That being said, the cards I think are very impactful. Like when they're blowing up all of your monuments, I've really liked having Growl 2, Drawn 2, and Quantum Riddler and such. What else is in their sideboard? They have a Spell Snare, Detect Intrusion, maybe, probably not. 1 Soul Guide Lantern, Fourth Deceit, Pit of Offerings. It's the lands that will exile cards from my graveyard. Yeah, that's probably it. So, I think, despite them being a 4 Cavern of Souls deck, I do think the counter spells are quite solid. Because if they kill, or if they name Elemental, then you can just discard them as the baseline, which is nice. And 2 are on the play, so we might be able to nab like an Ashling before they like find a Cavern. But the biggest one is Cavern always has to name Elemental just for their mana to function until they get to the like real late game. So that means Roaming Throne is always counterable. And as you saw, countering it on the stack is so much better than dealing with it when it's on the battlefield. I had to take a very mana negative, tempo negative turn to get it off the field. So these cards will usually convert against a Roaming Throne. And I think Roaming Throne is so important that even playing the 1 and all is something that I think is worth doing. And once again, we'll discard it if it's bad, but the tempo swing of trading 1 mana for their 4 in a card that is like so impactful for their game plan, I think I found to be worth it. So let's see how this plan goes. So Grand on the play. I'm going to snap that off. And these Firebending Lessons are targeting Flame Raiders or being kicked. Or if they block with Ashling, they get got. They probably have to take 1 for the risk of that. Worst case scenario, if I find a land, like just discard it to each other's a good plan. Yeah. But worst case scenario, I am not afraid to double spell. If I draw a mountain, like just throw away 2 cards to kill an Ashling, because them untapping with Ashling is really, really, really bad. Okay, so this is an interesting spot. Okay, Ashling. So I have an option of, it's kind of a funny play, just discard a Firebending Lesson here, just cast it on Ashling, do nothing. And the reason to do that play is because then when I attack, I can discard this lesson, and now Grand's online, and that's the mana efficiency is going to matter a lot, and just getting the 3. It's a funny play. The other option is just cast, anticipate, look for Combustion Technique, look for Artist Talent. That's probably a little bit safer. If I whiff, I can double spell this. But I'm a little bit addicted to casting Incessant Recall. So I'm gonna go for the high variance play. I think, oh yeah, we're gonna draw some cards this turn. So I think this is gonna be good. Does he have the strength to block now that I've discarded 3 Firebend? Yeah. It's probably smart. Okay, let's go. Let's go again. Oh, I did not mean to bring in Pyroclasm. Huh. Did I click that over Seer? Yes, I did. Seer would be much stronger here. Okay. I think, mistakes happen. I think it's going to be worth the time invested to... As I have a redundant Grand. You can't let them untap with Ashling. So, unfortunate. Unfortunate. That's not really what I intended, but this position could still be fine. Did I choose to play Riverfire over Spire Bluff? I might have clicked through that too quickly. Either way, so plan here is going to play Grand. They haven't found a cavern quite yet, so I should be able to convert a Disdainful Stroke at some point, which is nice. Okay, just play another Ashling. We probably need to broadside that. So Grand, broadside, hold up Stroke and a Null. Yeah. Discard Deceit. Okay. Ooh, Artist Talent. Okay, so... yeah, I don't think I can let them untap. Yeah, I'm going to hope to find an untapped land here, because Roaming Throne is going to be an issue. Yeah, okay. What do we discard here? So we have Talent, Monument. Talent Monument going. If they play the Roaming Throne, I think they're going to play it on this turn if they have it. If they don't play it, they don't have it. So I'm just going to discard the Annul. I think that's the smartest. And if they do have it, then hopefully I can just keep the elementals off the stack if they don't find the cavern. And the next turn we'll have a crazy pop-off turn with Artist Talent plus Monuments. So maybe they go for a Vibrance here. Maybe they just discard that, in which case I can slam a Row. I think it would be the, well, is that better than holding up Stroke? Like Artist Talent plus Stroke is pretty strong. Yep, they go for the Vibrance. Ooh, they go for the Mana Vibrance. They have double Vibrance, perhaps? Oh, they finds the cavern with it. Okay. And Pyroclasm. I feel silly for... Okay. Monument. Okay, so Stroke is bad now. So they found the cavern. So I'm just going to jam Ral. I'm going to minus Ral. Discard Fourth Lesson. And another. And a Stroke. Maybe it's both counter spells. I think kicking a Firebending Lesson might actually be relevant here. Yeah, let's just do that. Okay, here we go. Very unfortunate sequence I found myself in. I think I had the tools to win this, or to be very favored. Very favorable position here, but as is, might be a little tough. Okay, Wonder Knight. We might be able to outpower this. We do need to find a combustion technique. This card Wistfulness is not a good sign. But we can have a pretty crazy turn here, so we might be able to outpower what the opponent is doing. Okay, discard this. I can minus Ral. I don't think it's worth giving up the Ral yet. So sequencing is always drawing first, but when you're about to discard a kin, give you stuff more. Ooh, there's the Combust. Okay. So we'll discard this. Make a treasure now. So I want to minus Ral. I think plussing having a chump blocker might be relevant. Do I want to play a second Monument? That plays pretty poorly in the Wistfulness, but it's already playing poorly in the Wistfulness. I think... Okay, if you play a Vibrance, you kill, attack Ral. I'm going to plus Ral. I'm going to not play my land, because I don't want to discard any of this. So land will be my discard if I need the combustion technique. So I think my way through this game is to combust Roaming Throne, pay the ward, and then like combust your Deceit or something. I don't know, whatever you end up playing this turn, or Wistfulness more likely, and then or Vibrance maybe. Second Wistfulness is more enraged than second Vibrance because he actively chose to discard this. Wait, did he? Don't quite remember. But yeah, I believe he did. So yeah, we'll see what happens. He has a tough turn here. I do have a lot of things that have to be answered here. So despite me having a little bit of a mishap, I feel solid about this position. If he plays Vibrance and just deals 6 to Ral, that's really good for me too, because that means all my other things are live. So yeah. We'll see how this goes. But we have everything in play. If he doesn't deal with the monuments and artist talent, then I will win very quickly. Okay, there's the Vibrance. What are you doing with it? If you start killing these things, I will use my treasure to oh wait, sorry, that's Wistfulness. So you're killing Gran and Otter presumably, and then attacking Rao. Will I respond with a combustion technique? Resolve, Pit of Offerings, okay. Oh, you're killing Rao? Or dealing through to Rao? I suppose I'll chump block in that case. I think it's worth combusting. Maybe it's not. Maybe the plan is next turn I'm going to level talents. Level talents. Play monuments. It's like the reason to combust now is why I still have the Gran active, and it gets a treasure. I guess it's kind of free, because I can just make a treasure too. Yeah, I'm just going to do this. Another counter on Ral is relevant too. Chump block Otter on Throne. So when I play second monument, I can immediately Ral down to 1. Do I draw here? Make a treasure. I already have a card that I'm willing to discard. The mana might matter more. I think the mana is going to matter a lot. This is just a vibe analysis. I don't actually know what the correct play is there. But I think I'm going to have enough resources in play. I think mana is going to be a bigger factor, because I'm probably going to need to begin with a... Ooh, that's good. Okay, I'm going to begin with an artist talent. I was hoping I could just minus Ral immediately. Conversely, do I have to pivot again? If I minus talent, play monument, I can't really combust then. I have to get this off the table. So let's do that. Discard draw. Can I draw first? So if I draw, then I cast Combust. Your trigger, your ward trigger, my trigger to discard goes on the stack. Your ward trigger goes on top, so I can't make a treasure later, so I have to make a treasure now. I can't let you untap with that. I will discard monuments at this point, because if they blow up talent, this monument is useless. I do have a second talent now, which is nice. I'm not into deal 3 mode yet. Resources is tighter. Mana's going to be tight too if they blow it up. Because I still want to level talent. And I might have to play and level next turn. I'm going to make a treasure. Quench. Okay. Tie game. This is fun. It's very challenging. So, what does opponents best play here? Deceit doesn't do a ton because I have Golem. He's scared of the Annul now. But the... Okay, Wistfulness. So blow up the talent, presumably. Next turn I go talent. Warp Riddler if I draw lands. Play land, Warp Riddler, draw 2. Ooh, I drew that instead. It's better. It's much better. So let's take some game actions. I think, yeah, we're gonna fight through everything. So definitely discarding Quench. The question is, can I afford to level here? Kind of. So how many Wistfulness? You've cast 2 Wistfulness so far. Third is potentially in range. Oh, you've only cast 1. You discarded 1. So if I weave in this and then use a treasure for this, I'm making a bunch of treasures. If I don't, next spells are going to cost more. I think I can afford to weave this in. And in general, it's very important to find the moments to weave in the artist talents. See, considering... I wonder what options he has right now. Bounce off? So I was giving him priority, maybe. Okay. So, same thing. Normally, I have no discard coming, so I can draw 2 for information. And then I can discard to make a treasure. Detect Intrusion. Ooh, that was good. Well, I do have a land drop still. So, I can do this. I think we're at the stage where we are... discarding Riddler. I think if you draw another Wistfulness, I'm going to need to play the 3rd talent. So, treasure, discard this, draw 2, deal you 6. I think it's worth using a treasure here. Is it worth using a treasure here? Plays around the seats, kind of. Wistfulness. It uses a treasure, which you would normally want to wait on. But if they kill the talent, then it saves me a mana, because I'd have to pay 2 for this next turn. So I'm going to assume it's worth continuing to churn this turn. It is risky, because now I don't have a... if they don't kill artist talent, then I don't currently have a spell I can cast to trigger my talents. But should be fine. I gave myself 2 shots at doing so. I drew a land on the first one. I have a draw step coming next for another opportunity. How many lessons do I have? 1 million? I have 13 lessons in my graveyard. 18 cards in deck, so the onus is on me to finish this game pretty quickly. I've gone through... I have 1 more monument left in my deck. I have another Row in my deck. Here's all some things. Yeah, okay. So that was a good draw. Leveling talent is not the best way of doing this, so I should be good here. This should convert into a win. Essence Scatter. I do have to be a little bit careful of decking at this point. But I do want to find the 3rd monument, because I will finish this game. Okay, we've drawn instants. I want a minus Row, probably. Go to 10 cards. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I guess because I have an instant to cast on their turn. I'm trying to finish the opponent here. And the way to do that is deal 6 with the monuments here, find another monument, and then deal 9 on their turn. And I have an instant to cast for that, so I probably should have discarded Essence Scatter, but it's not a huge deal. I do have a 4th one in the deck, right? 1. Yeah, I have a 4th one to draw into. It's in the bottom however many cards. I will be minusing Growl just to find it. Worst case scenario, if I miss, I can just deal 6, kill your board, and then it's very hard for you to like kill that, pay for it. Spell Snare. Sure, that's fine. Do I minus Ral? Presumably. I think that's fine. Okay, there's the monument, so opponent is no longer alive. I have to be slightly careful, so I'm not discarding here. Probably shouldn't have played a land. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so it's in my turn. So upkeep targets the wistfulness, I guess. Discard draw. Let's deal 9 to you. Detect intrusion. It's not even that bad for me. Okay. I was able to scrap through that one. Let's put the proper sideboard card in. Pyroclasm is not what I wanted. Iroh's Demonstration, I think, is going to be better than Firebending Lesson. We played a long game, and I did not see Flame Braider, which makes me think that he boarded them out. Killing Ashling is incredibly important, so we need this Iroh's Demonstration. That was a mistake on my part. 3 Firebending Lessons, I think, are still appropriate just for kicking, like dealing 5 to, in these, like, late games. Dealing 5 to a Wistfulness would have been, like, fine here, even though I just discarded all of them aggressively. So, okay, I think this is good. Bounce off. Detect intrusion. Yeah, so. Creature. I think bounce off is mostly trying to target his own things to save him from removal. Don't think anything else really makes sense. Could go so far as to play second and all over Firebending, but that's probably too aggressive. We have him second guessing playing the roaming phones already, so we'll stick with the fun of. All right, this hand needs a little bit of help, but I do think it's a keep because it has the most important thing, the ability to kill an Ashling. So I'm going to keep on the strength of Seer. Hopefully that will buy me enough time to use the Anticipate mode and find the cards that we actually need. So we will see how it goes. Opponent's on to play with them all to 6. So the whole name of this game, if you can just reduce their resources down, Firebending Lesson. I wanted to play tap lands. Do I want to respect a... I could place Fire Bluff in case... I don't think they have Flame Raider, but he could have brought it in on the play. I'm going to have 2 drops to play. I guess I'll respect it. I really want to just get my tap land in, but I should be able to just... Shocking shouldn't be a huge deal. And then I'm likely to be able to play some tap lands on turns 3 or maybe 4. So, Artist Talent is not an acceptable card to cast right now because of the Ashling in play. You always have to, opening sequence just always has to respect the Ashling. Their deck is so much. Here's the thing with the Elementals deck. As long as they don't have Ashling or Roaming Throne in play, you can fight through everything fairly for the most part. But the second they have those cards going, you're in a lot of trouble. Their deck is operating on all cylinders, so you really need to like just reduce. Ooh, Vibrance, Find the Cavern. Very good. This gives me an opportunity. I'm going to choose to play Artist Talent here, because if they play Wistfulness... Ooh, second talent. Do I want to hold up Lesson? I really don't, so I'm just going to play my tap land. It's so unlikely that I would want to cast a lesson here, I think. I'm probably discarding the lesson. Point is, I'm playing Artist Talent here because when they play Wistfulness, you want to get it in early. Because the second they're on 5 mana and they can Wistfulness plus have it in play and draw 2 cards, that's a lot worse for you than just this in play. So, a couple options here. I think I'm always developing a second talent. The question is, do I get the level first? So if I don't level, I play talent, discard firebending. I play wisdom, discard a land. And then hopefully find like another wisdom and thing. If I level, I go level, talent, discard. I think it's worth leveling here. They might have cast a Wistfulness. They might have chosen to cast a Wistfulness if they had it. But since they didn't, it's not out of their range. It's because it's a lot better for them to kick it. But I am going to choose to level 2. It's a little bit aggressive. And just get 2 of these in play. So next turn, if he kills this talent, the play is probably level talent, play wisdom, discard lesson. If I draw another talent, I can hold priority. If I shock, have 5 mana, I can hold priority and discard another lesson and then resolve like 6 cards. And that's going to be very challenging for him to overcome. So, and I think that is better if we really put them to the test of having a second Wistfulness. So, 4 turns later, here's where the pay 2 life has cost me. Let's hold down full control. Let's discard, resolve the trigger, discard this. Okay, now I'm going to respond because we drew a lesson. Very lucky. Discard this. And draw 6. Discard a Spire Bluff Canal. Alright, your turn. What you got? That's what I got. I'll be discarding a Quench. For sure. A Null could convert. Would be weird, but maybe. Deceit would be pretty decent here. So I do need to find removal spells. Okay, second Wistfulness. I mean, that's pretty good here too. Challenging position. So, ooh, discarding a Winter Knight, getting the flashback in. So I am dead on board, which is not ideal, but I do have a lot of looks for... I've not seen any combustions yet, so I have 4 combustions to draw into. And if I can start chaining off those, it's going to be pretty strong. So I don't think the board is safe enough to deploy a Row. So I'm probably just have to abandon attachments. Discarding lands, discarding Quench. Yeah, kind of dealer's choice. It's probably Quench because if they play the lands that exiles 3 cards, I'll still have plenty of lessons. Whew. It's a lot of value in play. Ooh, Row's not. Yeah, I really can't afford to play a Row here. So, yeah, let's go. Let's see what happens. Okay. Not quite how we lined it up. I guess the only line is... Yeah, I have one choice. I have Row plus, and hope that there is no deceit or balance off for lethal. Damn. Tough run out. But yeah, the 2 life on turn 1 actually matters here. That's pretty funny because I mean I still might die to a Vibrance anyway if I survive at 2 life, but opponent kind of has the exact lethal amount, like 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. But I don't know. I think playing around the is this lethal? Block 7, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I'm dead. Well, that was a fun game. Very complicated matchup, a lot going on. As you see, the plans for the matchup and how, on average, I kind of like it, but you can definitely get God the Wistfulness is a very good card against you, so we will see how that goes.